It's been really nice to talk about a lot of concept art and what if scenarios that Marvel Studios could have given us with Spider-Man No Way Home. So today we're going to talk about more alternative designs for the Green Goblin. So this concept art comes at us from John Neasy, and obviously he took a couple passes at Norman Osborn's Green Goblin, and I see what he's going for here. Obviously taking elements of the suit from the Raimi films and trying to add upon it, make it a little bit more streamlined and slick, while also giving us what looks like a Goblin mask attempt. You kind of see, like, the hood is being simulated here and sort of his mask sticking out, like the ears, right? You see that all here. But unfortunately, I don't think it works, at least for me. I'm not seeing it here. I think it's a good concept, but to me, this just doesn't do it. It's too much of a far cry away from what they did with the Raimi films, and it just looks a little odd. I'm just not feeling it at all. But this isn't the only thing we ended up getting in terms of concept art, because while I might not love this, and kind of reminds me almost of like something from Halo, we also got to look at the glider. And honestly, I kind of have the same feelings about it. I don't think it's bad, but it's just not for me. At least here, I'm just not getting the sense of synergy between this look and the final version of the film. And I think that's ultimately why they didn't do this, and they just said, you know what? Bring back the old suit, the old glider, slap some things on it, make it look a little damaged, and call it a day. Probably the best choice. I understand the need for innovation, but look, I'm not saying that the Green Goblin Power Ranger suit is perfect. Definitely not. But nostalgically, it had to be that. And it worked for the story they were telling. So you can see how all these radical redesigns, whether it was the ones we talked about previously, where he was influenced by like the Dark Elves or even Stark Tech, just don't fully fit in terms of what they're going for, and their styles clash because their MCU styles trying to be forced upon a non-MCU film. And here I get that same vibe.